A few weeks ago, I made this video showing off my new toy, the 77-inch LG OLED EVO G3, which I spent, well, quite a lot of money on actually, but it was the first time in a couple of years that I felt there had been a proper step forward in OLED TV technology, and arguably the best OLED TV ever. Now, fast forward to today, and I have another one. This time, courtesy of the lovely folks over at LG, who are also sponsoring this video, to celebrate 10 years of LG OLEDs, and also being the world's #1 OLED TV, which I think they're quite proud of. 10 years since they launched the first OLED TV back in 2013, which is the same year actually I graduated from university, and also when plasma TVs were still king. But we've come a long way since then, including the first OLED HDR in 2016, their super thin wallpaper range in 2017, then we had the ThinQ AI ecosystem a year later, and then we had the first 8K OLED TV in 2019, followed by the world's first rollable OLED in 2020. Then 2 years ago, they introduced OLED EVO, which was a really big step forward for OLED brightness with the LG G1, and actually that was my last TV before this guy. And then this year at CES, they introduced the OLED M range, a completely wireless TV, well, except for the power. So lots of innovations, lots of new designs, and also the prices have come down considerably. This is still an expensive flagship TV, but more and more of us can actually afford an OLED TV now. But it does make you wonder, if we've come this far in the last decade, and this kind of feels like peak pinnacle TV, where are we going to be in 10 years from now? Anyway, back to this guy, their flagship 4K OLED TV for 2023, and I'm going to share some of the highlights of the G3 in this video, and I also urge you just to Google it, read a bunch of reviews, maybe even watch my own first impressions video of the biggest 77-inch model, because the G3 is an absolutely stunning TV. I mean, let's just start with the design, and with the G3 we have LG's one wall design. This is designed to be wall mounted, and they even include the bespoke bracket in the box, which by the way is backwards compatible back to the G10. And it took me about 15 minutes to line up and drill the bracket into the wall, but it's definitely a two-person job lifting the 65-inch into position. But then once you've got it mounted and you push it all the way back to the wall for the first time, you understand why LG calls this their no-gap wall mount. Also, as I do the peel, just look at how good this new anti-reflective coating is. I did a little side-by-side testing with the reflections when I upgraded from my G1 to the G3, and it really is a night and day difference. It's still a glossy screen of course, but it handles reflections incredibly well. Once you're up and running, you will be greeted by their new WebOS 23 software, which is a whole lot faster and a lot more streamlined than in previous years. But we'll come back to this in a minute because I want to talk about brightness. You guys know this, forever the Achilles heel of OLED TVs has been brightness. Things did get quite a bit better with their OLED EVO tech from a couple of years ago, but this takes things a step further. The G3 uses a new micro lens array, which, well, as it says on the tin, uses tiny micro lenses, over 5,000 of them per pixel in fact, so we have tens of billions on this 65-inch TV, and they redirect the light that would normally be lost by reflections inside the TV, meaning more light actually makes it to your eyes. So it's much more efficient, the viewing angles are improved, and crucially, it's a whole lot brighter. And it's up to 70% brighter than regular non-EVO OLEDs. We're talking 1600 nits of peak HDR brightness on a 10% window, and nearly 2000 nits in vivid mode, although generally I stick with the expert bright picture mode, that's my go-to. Although, thanks to the handy AI auto genre selection feature, for movies it'll default to the most color accurate filmmaker mode, or the relevant HDR or Dolby Vision mode when it detects supported content, and also of course when I turn on my PS5, it'll put me in Game Optimizer. New for this year though is this personalized picture wizard, and basically you go through a whole bunch of A/B kind of side-by-side picture tests, you answer which one you like most, and it'll create a custom preset for you. So the new MLA tech is obviously the big headline upgrade here, but the other important part of LG's OLED EVO platform is the processor, the chip. And this year's G3 and C3 come with the latest A9 AI processor Gen 6. And this not only makes the menus and UI feel nice and snappy, and it also handles the upscaling from SD and HD to 4K, but it also gives us these AI Pro modes for picture, which is the upscaling and also the enhanced dynamic tone mapping, for sound, which automatically adjusts the volume according to what you're watching, and also automatic brightness, which, well, you can probably guess what that does. Going back to the UI and the menus though, because they've also had a refresh this year with WebOS 23. Things like the quick menu, which gives you the most common settings you might need, and also the most recently changed setting at the top there. We also have this new row of quick cards for home office, hub, sports, games, music, and this brings together all the relevant apps and features that you might want for each. So for example, in game, you'll find apps like GeForce Now and Twitch, whereas in music, you'll find Spotify and Apple Music. And naturally, you can use the ThinQ Home dashboard to control all your smart home tech directly from your TV. Now, you may have noticed a PS5 right there, because I love to game, as I'm sure you do as well, and this is a terrific TV for gaming. Obviously, we have those 4 HDMI 2.1 ports, one of which supports eARC, so you're going to want to plug your soundbar into that one, but any of the other 3 are going to be perfect for your Series X or your PS5. You'll get the full 4K 120. The G3 also offers G-Sync, VRR, auto low latency modes, and of course we have their very fancy purple game menu, which shows your frame rate. You can switch to different genre-specific picture modes, and just tinker to your heart's content. But most importantly, when it comes to games, the G3 has one of the fastest input lag and response times on any TV, sub 10 milliseconds combined, so everything feels fast and responsive. But just taking a step back, the improved viewing angles, the higher brightness, the color accuracy, the processing, the upscaling, and of course all the benefits you get of having an OLED panel and its self-emitting pixels, so there's no light bleed or haloing to worry about. Obviously it's an expensive TV, but the picture is basically flawless. So as you can probably tell, I do quite like this TV, but there are a few areas that could be improved on to make it perfect. I think for one, personally, I would quite like an option to have a separate I/O port connection box so that all my HDMIs aren't coming out the TV itself and I can hide that away somewhere else. It's also worth knowing that the bigger 83 and 95, 97 inch models don't actually come with this new MLA tech. They are still brighter than last year, but not to the same extent. So for me, I reckon the 65 and the 77, which are conveniently the 2 I actually have, are the best options to go for. It's also worth mentioning, LG offer a 5-year warranty for this, which you don't see very often, and it gives you that little bit more peace of mind, especially as this is, well, quite expensive. But if you are after one of the best TVs in the world, definitely give the G3 a look. And I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to check this out, or you could just Google LG OLED Evo G3 or best OLED TV and it'll pop right up. And if you have any questions about this or anything you'd like me to test, leave a comment down below, and also let me know what TV you're rocking right now and if you are tempted to upgrade this year. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you want to see more from me and enjoy this video, then a like and subscribe would be fantastic, and I'll see you next time right here on the Tech Chat.